Good morning. My name is Lorna Lane, and I am a member of the Board of the Trustees of this congregation. Welcome to you all. Our mission statement is Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Elkhart is a welcoming community, encouraging religious freedom, nurturing individual, spiritual, and ethical growth, celebrating diversity, and promoting a just and sustainable world. If you would like to know more about our fellowship, please look at our website at uufe.org and join us after the service for our coffee hour. For the listening enjoyment of all, please take this time to mute or vibrate your cell phones. Also, if you need hearing assistance, please ask at the sound desk for additional help. Thank you. Our announcements this morning. Chuck Bauer visited with Rich and Karen at the hospital. His room is 4333 at Elkhart General, and his color has returned, and he was sitting and in a good mood. He is in speech and physical therapy and articulated a few words, which is great progress. Please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And as we learned recently, Reverend Jimmy has been and needed a procedure. He's been to the doctor and is still considering factors regarding a bypass surgery. We will also keep him in our thoughts and prayers. And now a short message from Steve Kripe.
Just to let you know, if you're in the gathering place, take a look at the signs that I picked up last week. The two that will go on the end of the road when we do our road cleanup, and I'll be announcing that date in the next couple of weeks, sometime in October. And the other, there's 3 banners that you can use if you're involved in a situation out in the community that you want to advertise UUFE, and it's got our symbol on it and the chalice, and it says "Because We Care." And there's 3 of those. So that if you want one of those, just grab them. They'll be in the cupboard here at the church. And then I know the blessing bags will use those for that. And there's Velcro to attach them to a table. So those are available now.
Hi. About 40 some odd years ago, I came to UUFE when I was divorcing and was separated from my husband and was leaving the Catholic Church. And when I first came, I really missed the richness of liturgy until they had the water communion and the flower communion. And those 2 Sundays really got my soul because they encompassed what I had come to believe. I didn't disbelieve Christianity or anything else. I just believed more. And so the water is kind of like all is one and one is all. And so I thought a lot about water and what I would say. And the one thing is that it unites us. And the other thing is that some memories in my life were that water was very soothing when I was alone. For example, when I was a young girl, maybe 10 or 12 years old, I used to walk to Lake Tituate out in Massachusetts and just sit on the shore about 6 in the morning and listen to the waves coming in. And as my children grew up and they were loud and noisy, I used to walk down to Island Park, and there was a sycamore tree that went out over the water behind what used to be the Y, and I would lay on that and just listen to the water rippling by. And then on Saturdays, when I was working full-time, I would take one of those blow-up rafts and I would go out on the river and I would tell my children, please do not call me unless someone dies. So I would have some alone time. So the water represents not only all is one and one is all, but it also represents silence and reflection and regeneration for me. Thank you.
See if I can make this work here. We ring the gong 3 times, once for those who came before us and made a place for us. Once for those of us here now, and once for those who will come after us and build on the dream. The chalice lighting today is called The Spirit of Water by Katie Gelfand. We light this chalice as a symbol of reunion, and we reunite in this sanctuary to share the flow of our hearts with one another. We gather together in ritual to celebrate our fountains of joy, to hold each other through storms of grief, to guide one another through rapids of transformation, to rest together in ponds of stillness. Together we honor the spirit of water in its many forms and its life-giving essence. Please join me in our unison covenant. It's printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant. Now it's time for our shared plate offering. It'll be shared this week with the Elkhart County Humane Society. Now join us in singing hymn number 108. Steve Kripe will lead us in that song.
If you're willing and able, would you stand and we sing?
where I attended a professional conference earlier this summer, and also Pittsburgh, where Annette and I attended General Assembly. I wish I could say this was water from the Potomac River or the Monongahela or the Allegheny Rivers, but it's just tap water from the the places where we stayed.
This morning when I thought about bringing water, I thought of tears. Some are sad, but they're also happy tears watching the tennis tournament this week. I had a lot of happy tears. If someone could explain to me how tears, most of them evaporate, and other water evaporates, how it gets back to water again. Curious, because I think that we are recycling the water. I love living on the water. I live on the river, and I love that it's going somewhere and it's been someplace.
I'm pouring for Carolee. Oh, goodness, this is tap water because I obviously didn't collect water when I went anywhere. I took a trip in June to Massachusetts. My brother, after 5 years of dialysis, decided to quit and passed on quickly, and that was a blessing, and his ashes are going to be strewn by the lighthouse in Maine where his wife is. And this week, that day that was so dark in the beginning and it poured rain, I'm thinking, oh, how wonderful for the grass and the flowers and the trees. And so this is for both of those, my brother and the water that rained.
Well, I'm going to share some water first for Rich and Karen, because when I saw them, I told them I would share some water for them. And I'm going to share some water for Phil and Janelle, who are on a trip. And Janelle was going to express mail some water back to me to pour in, but I didn't get it, so we're going to use this. And I virtually shared some water also with our gathering music video, too. I'm going to share a spoken and silent meditation today. The meditation will be, the silent portion of the meditation will be open and closed with a gong. And this was written by the same people who wrote the homily, by Jamila Batchelder and the Reverend Molly House Gordon. And it is entitled The Strength of Water. The strength of water takes on many, many forms, just as each of you has a unique and necessary strength that you bring to our community and to the work of love. Take a moment now to drop down into the deep wellspring of your own spirit and bathe yourself in the strength that is the groundwater of your person. Are you a roaring fall, wearing rock away with sheer force of will? Are you a tiny drop of water in a crevice, breaking it open slowly, steadily? Are you buoyant like a great salt lake, practiced at holding others aloft? Are you tenacious like the mountain stream, finding your way down and around every obstacle you face? Are you still and calm like the pond at daybreak, offering still peace by your shores? Are you in touch with hidden depths pulling from a vast well? Do you soothe like the steam rising from a cup of tea? Do you dissolve away stubborn muck like water left in a pot to soak? Do you soften and smooth the edges like a creeping fog? Do you clear away distraction like a cleansing rain? Do you roll with the ebb and flow like the ocean's waves? Settle your mind upon the strength, the power that is yours. Draw that strength into your heart. Draw it up into your soul. As we gather together the many waters of this community, we need each of your power, each of your resilience, each of your love to make us whole.
It's been a while since we've sang this, but it's soul, heart, and mind are the three verses. So stand if you're willing and able. And
my closing words today are perhaps curious, but I think about the mystery of how water came to be and how it's nearly impossible to truly understand the science behind it. And at the same time, the mystery of why we are not as careful, perhaps callous with the care of a water which is a finite resource on our earth. So my words are to go forth and to protect and treasure every bit of water that you can take care of. Blessed be and amen.